Hello, Ministers. I'm Melcy Rath, and today I think we should ask a question about Call of Duty. There are countless videos at this point about what went wrong, but as for me, I want to ask what went right. The golden era of Call of Duty, which I think is rightly called to be over after Black Ops 2, is what people usually look back on with the fondest memories. From the incredible community of sick gameplay clips, hilarious funny moments,
This is dumb.
Oh my god!
the iconic Kid Gets Trolled format, the MLG era, and more. It is no stretch to say that the impact this era, and more specifically Black Ops 2 had in continuing it, echoed across the internet for years to come, in some ways to this very day. From active uploaders of the game as it saw its 10-year anniversary to frequent videos like this one still being made, there's ample evidence of the impact and memories Black Ops 2 has given to us. All the other videos I've seen understandably focus on the campaign mode, which was highly innovative for its time in creating a branching storyline where your choices truly mattered, or the zombies, which is so iconic that I'm not sure the memes will ever stop while the internet's around. But in my searching, the multiplayer got by far the least attention of them all. This confused me because, in my opinion, the game stood or died on this in reality, despite it not being Call of Duty's original vision. It certainly seems to be where the most community content around the game was made, and was also what allowed it to pass the test of time as more and more entries in the franchise came out. But what about this multiplayer made it worth reliving for over a decade, and all the way through till now, over the titles that came out afterwards? I think there are three main categories the game excels in, which made this dream for a timeless title a reality: accessibility, versatility, and diversity. By exploring these categories, I think the final entry in the so-called golden age of Call of Duty can be better understood, giving us a window into the past of what made this game and franchise so great, and potentially give us hope to look forward to the future. So starting with accessibility, to me it means the type of person who could play Black Ops 2, because despite what the older internet was, particularly in Call of Duty lobbies, the game still possesses an incredible mass appeal that lets almost anyone in on the fun. The gunplay strikes such a great balance between arcade shooting and tactical that you almost need to experience it to understand. Unlike many other shooters where even an intermediate player can 100-0 a beginner, outside extreme cases, even the noob can achieve a nice thing or two in a match while the best players still dominate. And dominate you could, as the amount of viable classes in this game is at an all-time high. From MLG snipers trying to hit those ambitious quickscopes, to rushers who had multiple classes of weapons available to them, to positioning riflers playing a calculated game to get their streaks up, to very evil campers who wanted to see the world burn, quite literally in many cases, and even specialists farming kills with tacticals and unique weapons like the crossbow and ballistic knife. Everyone seemed to have their option, and their option worked. In most games, even those which aren't inherently competitive, we naturally create the most optimal pathways which show the others to be hopelessly ineffective by comparison. But Black Ops 2 gives nearly every class and playstyle an equal share at the table, something we'll get into more in the diversity section. The Pick 10 loadout rounds out the dream many shooters have had and failed to achieve of satisfying most to all playstyles, as the way your loadout becomes a sandbox within the constraints of only getting 10 slots, sparks creativity through its limitation, and lets you push your personal playstyle to its most extreme level. As for me, I was a gun maxer, though I skipped utility for boosts to my firepower. But way crazier things are available to the mad scientist, and giving us this loadout builder is like giving women a character creation menu. We're gonna be in this thing for countless hours, and I still was in my revisit of this game. I even gave these insanely cringe names to my loadouts. The builder lets you LARP like you wouldn't believe. There could be an essay just on how the loadouts and cosmetics enable a fantasy-driven FPS experience. The other key element to this is the maps. Maps are an easy way to make it impossible for the rookie to get anything done, while the smallest advantages are pushed by longtime players who know the tricks. But Black Ops 2 does not fall into this trap. With simple pieces and similar designs, the player can be slotted into most maps and feel right at home once they have played them a little. This does not make them boring or impossible to innovate on though, as the global map settings, secret spots, and unique map mechanics keep things fresh and still allow experienced players to get the upper hand with their superior map knowledge. By pairing this with fun and simple game modes, the player's skill can translate everywhere and they will likely find multiple they really enjoy without needing to spend hours to relearn mechanics. Even the score streaks being by score instead of kills opens up multiple ways to get that power spike, whether you're a rusher or black hat enjoyer. All in all, whether you were someone who had never played a shooter or were asking for your complexity jersey and scuff controller to up your game after watching MLG Anaheim.
Unlock, TP watching the flank. One go, wait on, Chris is gonna do it!
That is it! Complexity takes out Impact, and they are crowned the winners of MLG Anaheim.
Black Ops 2 gave the framework for your Rainbow Frog sick double fakey no scope, hilarious night out with friends, or anything in between, and everyone could have just as much fun doing it. But how is that really possible? Well, this is where diversity comes into play. Any game can have hundreds of options, but in a highly competitive game like Call of Duty, where there was no doubt countless people trying to ruin your fun, making so many options competitively viable is an incredible feat. This is what Black Ops 2 did, because sure, there were a few less viable options than others, but not many. Not only did several guns within one class see representation at the highest level, but even several gun types were used to completely take over lobbies. The balance between their drawbacks and strengths is great, except for the B23R. Screw this stupid busted weapon. Why can't it just burst like an AN-94 when it's a pistol? And the map design perfectly allows both to be utilized by yourself and enemies alike. We will use slums to demonstrate, but like I said earlier, almost every map is going to follow this same general design. Long hauls allow snipers and rifles to shine, but there is cover and terrain which lets other weapon classes bridge the gaps and make fair or even advantageous fights for themselves. Hidden corners let you get stealth kills people aren't expecting, while giving some more long-range power, since these halls feature breaks where you can be surprised by a rushing SMG or shotgun running out. In those breaks, there are close quarter sections where rushing SMGs, shotguns, and special weapons shine. Tacticals are especially deadly here to prevent rushers from popping out and showing you, but your setup can't last forever unless you're the worm, so you'll need to get out before the insatiable horde takes you, unless you, of course, are part of it yourself. These tight areas transform into the mid-range, which often connects to long lanes too, making it so good positioning gives you an edge with every weapon type, but a misstep may result in a snipe from across the map. With all these different styles weaving together intimately through the map design, everyone gets a chance to exploit the strengths and weaknesses of each style, making your skill expression the main barrier of success with any weapon on any map. Those who are particularly skillful will even swap classes in the same life, picking up and effectively utilizing weapons off of fallen enemies. All in all, the way each style is strong but flawed, combined with a map pool that universally lets each style shine, lets every kind of playstyle find their competition in the game. Competition is not all there is to BO2's multiplayer though. While the MLG meme era was all about aspiring to insane skill and hitting unreal shots, a big part of those unreal shots were attempting insanely impractical and unlikely kills with the odd mechanics and features of the game. You would need to throw the match to even attempt kills like this, and you best believe people were doing so all the time, and memes thrived both on the successes and failures. Our last point of versatility comes from these, because it was what happened outside of the competition as well that really cemented the game's legacy in both the franchise and internet at large. Making a party game of the series was at an all-time high with the tools available. Maps that encourage you to hang around and enjoy what is going on in a particular area. Use that area to potentially troll your friends.
Check this out. Watch what I look like if you stand on the other side of that car. Watch this.
Gotcha, bitch!
Where'd he go?
How did you do that?
Or facilitate party games with map mechanics like the flooding on Hydro or the gun on Turbine. Tacticals greatly lended to these funny moments, as the mechanics of the Bouncing Betty made it iconic in meme culture, as was the C4. Hacking from tacticals to care packages allowed for hilarious opportunities that could even potentially get someone out of the loop to rage quit. With customs that gave you all the unlocks as every custom should, COD almost found itself as a sandbox game within the limitations of its world, totally separate from its MLG sweaty gameplay counterpart. In some ways, it does better than games which are dedicated sandboxes. In summary, the fact any style worked, anyone could play and find their form of success, and that the success may have also shown up in many important ways besides the scoreboard, created the perfect environment for a game that would grow to be a beloved classic of the internet, the start of many college room gamers' content creation careers. the start of many players' forays into esports, and the perfect place for those creating already to continue to grow their audience and inspire others. Black Ops 2 was and is an integral part of the history of the internet, and its impact can still be felt not just in the content forms which came from it and its predecessors, but also from the game itself, where many still yearn to and actively seek to play it again in all its forms which we may delve into more in other videos. But for now, thank you for listening. If you enjoyed this video, please let me know in the comments below. I know I have a lot of fun memories to share about this game, and would love to hear yours if you have them. If you never experienced this game, I have good news. There is a service by the name of Plutonium, which lets you play Black Ops 2 in all its forms. I recommend you try it, as it is what I will be using if we continue the Black Ops 2 ride into its other game modes. If I make videos on them, I will be doing it in a much more experiential way, as I have less memories and thoughts.